Good afternoon, everybody. Or is it early evening where you guys might be? This is Robert from RJL 518 coming to you live here from Wrigley Field for another exciting edition of Payoff Pitch Baseball. Tonight is just another preseason game I'm going to run tonight. As I'm getting warmed up here for my 1994 restart. For any of you people who don't know about what that is, please check in my channel and you'll see what the 1994 season is going to all be about. I explain everything there. Tonight's just going to be another relaxing preseason game. We're here at Wrigley Field, as it will be the Chicago White Sox taking on the Chicago Cubs. I haven't played the White Sox yet, and I thought I'd go ahead and give another nice little interleague matchup for tonight's game. So for those of you who are joining me, have a seat and just watch a nice relaxing game of baseball. Shall we? Why not? Take a look at the starting lineup first for the Chicago White Sox. It will be Bob Zupchik batting first. Joey Cora will bat second. Frank Thomas will bat third. Robin Ventura will bat fourth. Darren Jackson will bat fifth. Lance Johnson will bat sixth. Ron Karkovice will bat seventh. Craig Graybeck will bat eighth. And the pitcher, Jack McDowell, will bat ninth. A lot of people, of course, know that I wasn't really planning on streaming this game, but I decided to say, whatever. Defensively for the Cubs, we have Mark Grace at first base. Ryan Sandberg is at second. Sean Dunston is at shortstop. Ray Sanchez is at third. We have Derek May in left field. Center fielder is Carl Rhodes. The right fielder is Sammy Sosa. Behind the plate is Rick Wilkins. And on the mound for the Chicago Cubs in this game, I've kind of chosen Willie Banks. 8 wins, 12 losses, a 5.4 ERA. Willie Banks, maybe not one of the better pitchers of the Cubs in that year. As we said, this is the 1994 Chicago Cubs, and in 1994, the Cubs were when the season came to a halt. In 1994, the Cubs were in last place at 49 wins and 64 losses. They were awful. They were not a good Cubs team. They were terrible. They were the second worst team in the league, in the National League, compared to the Padres, who had 47 losses. The Chicago White Sox, on the other hand, led the American League Central when 1994 was suspended. And, of course, that's where they're going to take over. But it's always good to have a game between the North Side and the South Side play each other. You never really know how a game like this could turn out. So for those of you who are set, go ahead and get your pretzels, get your peanuts, get your beer, take a seat, and let's get to the game action, shall we? It is White Sox versus Cubs, and the White Sox are batting first, and leading off for the White Sox will be Bob Zupchik. And I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right, but this is against right-handed pitchers. He batted .217 with no home runs in 1994. So Willie Banks, he'll go ahead and see what he's got made, and that is a foul ball. As that went ahead right out of the gate. So we will re-roll. And here we go. That's a 10. That's a tough. That's a 7. And Zupchik goes ahead and strikes out to start the game. So a strikeout for Willie Banks, as the Wrigley fans faithful here. And yes, this may be a preseason game, but this place Wrigley Field is packed. Okay, it is definitely packed tonight. Anytime the White Sox and Cubs get together, it is always a packed house, even though it's preseason. A lot of fans wearing Cubs pinstripes. Some are wearing wearing Sox pinstripes as well. So I'm expecting there's a great crowd. It is definitely a great crowd tonight here at Wrigley. So 1 out already, and the batter will be Joey Cora. Cora batted .278 with 2 home runs in 1994 off the right-handers. He's a switch hitter. So let's see what Willie Banks has for him. And this is a 5. That's ballpark 90, and that's going to be in play. So we go ahead. Can't talk. Let's see, it's an 0-4, and that's going to be a base hit for Joey Cora, and that's actually going to go all the way and deep into the right field corner. Cora rounding first. He will make it to second without a throw, really. So Cora has himself a 1-out double. That is a nice double for Cora. And Wrigley Field, pretty much neutral, but it can turn out to be a bit of a hitter's park in some cases. So And I'm going to fix this here a little bit here just to get this up a bit there. And I think that's a little better. Okay. All right. So we fix this here and there. Okay. So Cora is on at second base with 1 out. And that will bring up the big hurt. And that would be Frank Thomas. He had batted .342 with 26 home runs in 1994 for the White Sox. And this was definitely blasted. He'd been blasting home runs right and left. Frank Thomas, of course, a Hall of Famer. Absolutely. How do you not put the big hurt in the Hall of Fame? It's amazing. In 1994, he actually had a lot of people hitting home runs. Frank Thomas, Bagwell, Walker, they were all smacking them out, and some were on pace for 50, 60 homers possibly. Can only imagine how many, what the stats would have finished with if they just let the remaining 50 games play. So Thomas is at the plate. Cora on its second. Let's see what we get here. That's a 7. That's a patient. That is an 89. And Thomas, he's going to smack this one. That's going to be a double. That's a definite double. That's a grounder down the line into right field. Cora will round third. He will score easily. So 2 back-to-back doubles by Joey Cora and Frank Thomas, and already it's 1-0 White Sox. On a double off an 89, and that's the only way Thomas can get a double off the patient mark, and he gets it. So Frank Thomas will hold at second base with an RBI there, and it's already 1-0 White Sox. And that will bring up Robin Ventura. Ventura batted .287 with 14 homers in 1994. Robin Ventura would be on the Mets when they go to the World Series in about 6 years. So Frank Thomas on at second. Willie Banks still maybe trying to get out this inning real quick. Here's the pitch to Ventura. That is a 7. That's a patient. That's a 20, and Ventura will draw the base on ball. So he will go to first with a walk. And after striking out the first batter, Willie Banks has allowed 3 straight base runners. Next up for the for the White Sox will be Darren Jackson. Jackson batted .309 with 5 home runs in 1994 against the righties. As I said, this was a good White Sox team. Very good White Sox team, very capable. And a lot of people said maybe we're more than a match for the 94 Yankees, because a lot of people thought those two teams were destined for an American League Championship Series. And who knows how it's going to happen here when I start unfolding the season on Friday. These games don't count. This is just a little preseason game. Here's the pitch to Jackson. That's a 4. That's a patient. That's a 73. This one is a ground ball to second base. Jackson's double play rating is a 5. What Banks is a 10. It's a 4. It's going to make the play. He throws to second for 1, back to first for 2. Darren Jackson grounds out into a 4-6-3, and the inning is over. But the Cubs score a run on 2 hits and a walk. And we are 1-0 White Sox as the Cubs will now come up to bat. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. For the Chicago Cubs, it'll be Carl Rhodes batting first. Sean Dunston will bat second. Ryan Sandberg will bat third. Mark Grace fourth. Derek May will be fifth. Sammy Sosa will bat sixth. Ray Sanchez will bat seventh. Rick Wilkins will bat eighth. And the pitcher, Willie Banks, will bat ninth. Defensively for the White Sox, you've got Frank Thomas at first. Second baseman is Joey Cora. Third baseman, Robin Ventura. Craig Graybeck is the shortstop. In left field is Zubchik. The center fielder is Johnson. The right fielder, Darren Jackson. Ron Karkovice behind the plate. And on the mound for the Chicago White Sox will be Jack McDowell. 10 wins, 9 losses, 3.73 ERA. But let's be honest, Jack McDowell, pretty much in the 90s, was a very dominating right-hander. He was very tough. He had a 3.73 ERA. He did have issues sometimes. He did have issues with the walk, but Jack McDowell actually one of the more dominating pitchers for the White Sox during that time. And a lot of people say he had a bad attitude. If anybody has any comments about that, I guess you can let me know what you think. Bottom half of inning number 1. And here's Carl Rhodes for the Cubs. He batted .225 with 7 home runs against right-handers in 1994. So let's see what we get with let's see what we get. Here's the pitch. That's an 11 off McDowell. That's a ballpark. That is a 58, and that is in the wheelhouse. Draw a card 74. Unfortunately, that will not do it. That's a fly ball to straightaway center field. Getting under it is going to be Johnson, and he will make the catch, 1 out. And that will bring up Sean Dunston. Dunston batted .282 with 5 home runs against right-handers in 1994. I always thought Sean Dunston was a little bit, I thought he was a little underrated as a shortstop. I really think Dunston was actually a pretty decent baseball player. I truly did. Here's the pitch from McDowell to Dunston, and this is a 7. That's a 93. That one's going to be a fly ball into left field. Getting under it is going to be Zubchik. He will make the catch for the 2nd out. And that will bring up this guy, Ryne Sandberg. Ryne Sandberg, he was 35 years old in 1994. Maybe he was already getting up in his years at this time, but can anyone say Ryne Sandberg may have been one of the best second basemen ever? I mean, he was awesome. Definite Hall of Famer, high WAR, man could hit, man could field, Gold Glover, All-Star. Ryne Sandberg, one of the best Cubs. I mean, if I don't know, it's very hard to pick maybe the greatest Cubs. I mean, if Ernie Banks is Mr. Cub, I mean, he's the greatest Cub in history. I mean, where would you put Ryne Sandberg? Number 2, number 3? I mean, where would you put him? Sandberg is the batter. Let's see what McDowell throws him. And that is a foul ball. No balls and a strike. That one's a 3. That's a defense, and that's a double, and that is a rare play. So we will go to the rare play chart and see what we get. We go to the rare play chart, so I shall re-roll these dice. And that is going to be actually I just need to roll one at a time, don't I? It is a 2 and a 3. 23 on the bases empty. Rain causes a lengthy rain delay. When play resumes, if either pitcher in the game at the start of the rain delay is 30 years old or over, his arm stiffens up and he must be replaced by a new pitcher. Wow. Well, guess what? Neither one of the pitchers are 30 years old. Jack McDowell was 28. Willie Banks is 25. We have a rain delay, but they are fine, and we can continue. Let's see. How long did the rain delay last? Just for kicks. For about 40 minutes. Okay, 40-minute rain delay passes, and after they clean off the dry off the field, Ryne Sandberg will take another crack at it. Here's the pitch. It's an 8. This is it's a 35. And Sandberg, after waiting about 40 minutes to get up there and take his swings, he goes ahead and strikes out. Side retired. So nothing for the Cubs there at the end of 1. It is White Sox 1, Cubs nothing. And we'll go to the top of the 2nd. Leading off for the White Sox will be Lance Johnson. Lance Johnson, an excellent center fielder, great range, and one of the best center fielders in the game. A range of 8, an error of 5. So this guy is the best ratings you can get for a player in payoff pitch baseball. Batted .267 with 2 home runs against right-handers in 1994. He is a lefty. So let's see what Willie Banks throws him. Here's the pitch. And this is an 11. That's in play. It's a 52, and that one's a ground ball to third base. Coming up with it will be Sanchez. He will throw to first, and get him out, 1 down. As the Wrigley Field faithful are very happy to see Ray Sanchez be playing a good game here. So that's 1 down, and the batter will be Ron Karkovice. Karkovice batted .195 with 5 home runs against right-handers in 94. Pretty decent, pretty good catcher. I mean, range of B, error rating of 3. Not bad. Pretty good catcher. He's capable of doing the job. Here's the pitch from Banks. That's a 6. That's a tough. That's a 61. And Karkovice is caught looking at strike 3. Strike out. And that is the second out of the inning as Willie Banks does a nice job on him. Caught him looking at the curveball. Curveball was beautiful. It just snaked in there. And Karkovice just turned around and just went back to the dugout. 2 men away, and that will bring up Craig Graybeck. He batted .385, no home runs against right-handers. Didn't get many starts, but in the lineup I chose for the White Sox, he starts here. So Graybeck and is doing here, and he is playing a healthy shortstop today, and not bad at shortstop. That was his best fielding position in the infield. So here's the pitch from Willie Banks. And it's a 7. That's a patient. That's a 66. And Graybeck, he's going to belt this one into center field for a base hit. He will hold it first on the single. And that was a nice hit by Graybeck. He goes ahead and sends that into center. It's tossed in by Rhodes. 2-out single for the White Sox. And that brings up the pitcher, Jack McDowell. He is hitting. We are in the National League ballpark, so the pitcher does bat. Jack McDowell, his batting uses pitcher hitting card number 3, so he's capable. But we all know really how American League pitchers bat in the National League. Remember, this is 1994. There was no interleague play yet. That did not start until 97. So here's the pitch to McDowell, and that's a 2. That's in the wheelhouse, but that's not. But with an 89, that's not going to matter. He gets it, chops it right to short, and it's going to be picked up by Dunston. He'll throw to second for the force, and the side is retired. You threw a wheelhouse pitch to the pitcher, but an 89 is just not going to cut that. And so a base runner is left stranded. Ground ball, so there is no runs on 1 hit. Bottom half of inning number 2 coming up. Here comes Jack McDowell. And leading off for the Chicago Cubs will be Mark Grace. There's another hell of a player. Batted .299, 5 home runs against right-handers in 1994. 30 years old at this time. Mark Grace, another awesome Cub. I mean, do you want to put him in the top 10 of Cubs players? I have no problem doing that. Grace was excellent. Awesome hitter. Not a bad fielder either. Man was capable of doing his job. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0 White Sox. Here's the pitch to McDowell. That's it. That's a 9. That's a patient. And Grace is going to draw the walk. Ball 4. So Grace will go to first. And he'll be the first leadoff batter for the Cubs in the game. And the next batter will be Derek May for the Cubs. Derek May, .277 average, 6 home runs against right-handers in 1994. He's a lefty. So Jack McDowell's got to be a little careful. He always did pretty well, though. So Grace is on it first. Steal rating a 2F. He's not going. So here's the pitch. That's in the wheelhouse. That's a 69, and that is going to be hit well, but right to the shortstop. Double play rating is an 8. McDowell's double rating is an 8. It's a 12. It's a great play. The only play they have, they got to go to first. Mark Grace somehow gets to second base. That is a fielder's choice. But on a 12, Grace will make it to second. May is out. 1 down. So fielder's choice, and Grace moves over to second base as the only play that Graybeck had was the first. So 1 down now. And that will bring up that guy. He was 26 years old, Mr. Sammy Sosa. Batted .288, 16 home runs against right-handers in 1994. That guy, Sammy Sosa. What do we say about him? What do we say about Sosa? I mean, okay, the first thing that comes to mind these days is steroids. That hurts so bad. It really does. Sammy Sosa, one of the best hitters ever in the game, and unfortunately will probably never make the Hall of Fame because of the steroids. Him, Mark McGwire, Roger Clemens, the guys I grew up watching, watching baseball in the 90s and the 2000s, and unfortunately because of that, he can't get in the hall, along with Rafael Palmeiro and such. I mean, really, it just such a sad thing. But Sosa, I can't take anything away from him. He's, again, one of the best players the Cubs ever had. He is at the plate. Mark Grace is out on second with one out. And here's the pitch from McDowell. That's a 10. That's in play. That's a 35. Oh, he just missed it. And he lines that one. And he lines that one right back to the pitcher. Jack McDowell spears it and just grabs it. Wow. Sammy Sosa hit that a ton, but right at McDowell, he will make the play. As that is a line out to 2. And there's now 2 outs as Grace had to hold. He hit that hard. And McDowell's wondering to make sure he did catch it, check and see if there's a hole, if that didn't go through his glove and put a hole in it. What a play. It will bring up Ray Sanchez now for the Cubs. Sanchez batted .295, no home runs against right-handers in 1994. So Gray still on second. McDowell pitching pretty well. And he just got away with that one with Sosa, I think. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. That's an 11. That's ballpark. That's 85. That's going to be in play. And that's going to be a 39. And that one is grounded right back to McDowell. He's got it. He'll toss it over to first for the out and retire the side. So Jack McDowell makes the next 2 outs, virtual of a hard shot liner right back to him. And Sanchez grounding out. And the inning comes to an end. So no runs, no hits, and a walk as Grace is left stranded. It is still White Sox 1, Cubs nothing. As we go to the top of inning number 3. For those of you who I usually go ahead and announce what I'm going to go ahead and stream. I just decided to stream this game. And for those of you who have missed the actual stream, I do apologize. Maybe I should have let you know. But I just wanted to stream the game to see if I could get this game posted a little quicker to YouTube. Because recording and then sending it to YouTube takes almost 2 hours. I'd rather just go ahead and stream the game, get it right to you. So for those that cannot watch the stream, it's automatically up there. Get right to it and start watching a good game of baseball. Now, let's see where we left off. We left off at the top of the 3rd inning, didn't we? Yes, we did. It is Bob Zubchik. He will lead off. He struck out his last time up against Willie Banks. Banks is a fatigue rating of 7. McDowell fatigue rating of 8. And here is the pitch. And this is an 8 on Banks. That's a tough. That is a 59. And that one is flown out to right field. Getting under that will be Sosa. He will make the catch for the out. So 1 down. And here comes Cora. Cora went ahead and belted a double his last time up. He's 1 for 1. 1-0 White Sox. Willie Banks on the mound for the Cubs. Here's the pitch. And that's an 11. That's in play. 95. That should be okay. That's a fly ball to left field. And it will be Derek May getting under this one. He waits for it and puts it away. 2 down. And that will bring up the Big Hurt. The Big Hurt did hurt last inning. He belted a double, which scored Cora. So here's the pitch to Frank Thomas. Oh, boy, wheelhouse. Well, we all know what that's going to be. Crack. That one is hit high. That one is hit deep to center field, and I do mean deep to center field, and that ball is gone. Home friggin' run. You throw in Frank Thomas's wheelhouse and a 25, and you might as well just say, forget about it. Frank Thomas hits his 2nd hit of the ball game, And that was a blast to center field. And yep, there's the Wrigley faithful. They got it, and they throw it right back onto the field. Yeah, they were not keeping that ball at all, were they? Now, they throw them back on the field at Wrigley. Lovely stadium. Been there. Love the ballpark. Gorgeous. Great sight lines. So much tradition there. But Frank Thomas goes ahead and deals out the hurt again. Second RBI of the game. Now 2-0 White Sox. Oh, boy, what a blast that was. And Willie Banks mad at himself because he knew he just threw it right over the plate. And doing that to Frank Thomas is just asking for trouble. Here's Robin Ventura. He walked his last time up, so so he has no official at bat. Willie Banks got to calm down a little bit and try again. Still 2 outs here in the top of the third. Here's the pitch, and that is a 3. That's defense, 23. So the ball is hit to third base. So that is hit to Sanchez. Sanchez, and that's an error chance. So an error chance to Sanchez, it's a 3. So 1-46, a 23, and he will commit the error. That is an error, and it's going to be a single +1. So it's not just an error, it's a base hit and a single error. So Ventura will find himself on at second base with the play. So he is on second with a base hit and an E. And that one was hit to where? That was hit to third, on E5. So one error there. Ventura holds at second base, and definitely Sanchez knew he should have. Sanchez knew he should have had that. He's a good player. He's got great range, but his error, he does commit the error. So Ventura on at second base with 2 outs now for Darren Jackson. Let's see what he did. He grounded out his last time up. Here's the pitch to Banks. Or Banks pitching to Jackson. That's a 7. That's a patient. That's a 56. And this one is grounded to third. This time Sanchez will make the play. He throws to first, and that will end the inning. But the big hurt puts the big hurt on the Cubs. And that is 1 run on 2 hits. The error goes to the Cubs. We go to the bottom half of inning number 3. It is White Sox 2, Cubs nothing here. So on comes Jack McDowell. In the bottom of the third, and leading off for the Cubs will be Rick Wilkins. Wilkins batted .241, 6 home runs against right-handers in 1994. And trust me, we're going to be seeing a lot of the White Sox since they lead the division and they have one of the top. Them and the Yankees have an A rating. Okay, for my simulation and restart, we'll be seeing the White Sox a lot. So there's going to be a lot of White Sox, but for sure, there's going to see a lot of White Sox games. Here's the pitch to Wilkins. That's a 6 from McDowell. That's going to be an 81. That is in play, and that's a fly ball to center field. Johnson will get there. He will make the catch easy for 1 out. It will bring up the pitcher, Willie Banks. Willie Banks uses pitcher hitting card number 3. So he's also capable of getting a few hits. One out, bottom of the third. White Sox 2, Cubs nothing. Here's the pitcher, McDowell. That's a 7. That's a tough, and of course you all know what that means. That is a strikeout. 2 down. And that is the second strikeout for Jack McDowell. Top of the batting order now for the Cubbies and Carl Rhodes. Rhodes flew out his last time up. Like I said, it's an exhibition game, but but Wrigley Field is packed. But right now, they're not enjoying. Most of the Chicago faithful are not enjoying a White Sox lead, but the White Sox fans certainly are. Here's the pitch from McDowell. That's a 7. That's going to be a tough. That's a 19. And Rhodes is going to swing and a miss, and he strikes out. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Cubs. Three innings in the books. And it is White Sox 2, Cubs nothing. We have the top of the fourth coming up. I will just take a quick commercial break. So for those of you who are, for anyone who is watching, I put this sheet on there to let you know. I will be right back. Give me a minute or two. Okay? We go to the top of the fourth inning here. And of course, and the last, and that commercial break, by the way, was brought to you by 7-Up Cherry, because that's what I just had to drink. White Sox 2, Cubs nothing, top of the fourth inning. And leading off for the White Sox will be Lance Johnson. Remember, this is a preseason game. This game does not count in the standings because, of course, remember, they didn't have interleague play back in 1994 yet. Willie Banks, we'll see if he can recover after giving up that blast of a home run to the Big Hurt. Here's the pitch to Johnson. And that is a 2. That's a defense. That's an 87. And that ball is going to be an error check. So the ball is hit to Sanchez again. But this time he will make the play. Sanchez has got it. He throws to first. 1 out. Nice play by Sanchez as this time he makes the play. So that is a G5, grounder to 5. And that will bring up Ron Karkovice. Karkovice struck out his last time up. Willie Banks sets and deals. And that is a 9. That's an in play. 70. That one is grounded to second base. And Sandberg, routine for him, just grabs it, throws to first for the second out. And now we will see Craig Graybeck. Graybeck hit a single his last time up. And Willie Banks now working with 2 outs so far. See if he can give get a 1-2-3 inning. And here's the pitch to Graybeck. And that is an 8. That's an 0-2, and he gets the strikeout. And Graybeck was not easy to strike out, but he got it there. 1-9, and he rolled a 2, struck him out. And a 1-2-3 inning for Willie Banks, and you know he needed that one. He needed to have a good inning to get his team feeling good and see what he can do for the night. So we go to the bottom half of inning number 2, still 2-0 White Sox. Here comes Jack McDowell, and here's Sean Dunston for the Cubs. Dunston flew out his last time up. Here's the pitch. And this is going to be a 9. That's a patient. That's a 96. That one is a fly ball to straightaway left field. Getting under it will be Zukchik. He'll make the catch. 1 out. So right now, Jack McDowell keeping the Cubs off the base pads, really. And the batter now will be Ryne Sandberg. Sandberg struck out his last time up. So we'll see what Jack McDowell is capable of doing here. And there's still one out here in the bottom of the fourth. Here's the pitch. It's a 6. That's in play, 25. And Sandberg is going to belt that one into center field. That's a base hit. Sandberg sends that one into center. And that's actually the first base hit for the Cubs. As the fans finally have something to cheer about. And Sandberg will hold it first. He's a steal 4 of a D. He's not going to go anywhere. So 1 out. That's the first base hit off of McDowell. So he goes about 3.5 without giving up a hit. He did walk a batter. And the batter now will be Mark Grace. Grace walked his last time up. Here's the pitch to Grace. This is a 6. That's in play, 63, and that one's a fly ball to left. Near the warning track is Zupchik. He will get under it, and he will make the catch for the second out. Grace does know how to hit him. He does hit him hard. 2 men down now, and the batter is Derek May. May grounded to a fielder's choice his last time up. He was thrown out at first, allowed Grace to move to second base. Sandberg's still on at first, 2 outs here. And here's the pitch. That's an 8. That's a 50. That's a 54. Oh, and it's a ground ball right to third. Nice play by Ventura. He throws to second for the force, and the inning is over. So the Cubs got their first base runner, but failed to come in and capitalize. And a base runner is left stranded. No runs and a hit. 4 in the books here in this preseason game. It is White Sox 2, Cubs nothing. And we go to the top of the 5th inning. And leading off for the Sox will be Jack McDowell, the pitcher. Willie Banks grooved him one, but McDowell just couldn't do anything with it. Got to be careful about giving wheelhouses to pitchers. They sometimes can hit hard. Here's the pitch from Banks. That's a 7. That's a patient. That's a 39. That's a 39, and that's a ground ball to third. Sanchez has got it. Throws to first to get McDowell, and that's 1 out. Top of the batting order now for the White Sox and Bob Zupchik. Zupchik is 0 for 2. Here's the pitch. And that's a 10. That's going to be a 61, and that is grounded to second base. Sandberg will easily take it. He throws to first for the second out. And now we'll see Joey Cora. Cora is 0 for 2, doubled and flew out. Willie Banks trying to have another good inning. Let's see what he can do. Here's the pitch to Cora. That is an 8. That's a tough. That's a 25. But nope, Cora goes ahead and belts this one into center field, and that's going to go to the wall, into the ivy. Cora rounding first, he'll go for second. He'll make it easily. That is another double for Joey Cora. He gets that one. He holds at second as Willie Banks threw him one there. It was a tough pitch. It was well put, but Cora just knocked it out. 2 outs, and now that brings up that guy, the Big Hurt, who for some reason Willie Banks threw one to him in the wheelhouse, and that I just think he got what he deserved. So here's Frank Thomas. He is 2 for 2, a double and a home run. The pitch from Banks. That's in the wheel. Yeah. Here's the pitch. Crack. High fly ball. This one is heading to left field down the line. If it stays fair, it's gone. It is gone. Frank Thomas. He belts that one into left field. That is out of here. And the White Sox now make it a 4-0 lead as Thomas hits his second home run of the game. And obviously, Willie Banks didn't learn. So he goes ahead and throws him another one right down Broadway. And Frank Thomas decided to go see a show, and he did that. And the White Sox faithful are going nuts, and the Cubs faithful are just sitting there wondering, why are you throwing the ball like that to friggin' Frank Thomas? Good thing this game is meaningless. 2 outs now. Robin Ventura is the batter, and he's actually having a good. He's 1 for 1, a walk, a single, and we'll see what he's capable of doing. So 4-0 White Sox as Frank Thomas is doing all the damage. And here's the pitch from Banks. That's a 5. That's ballpark 23. That's in the wheelhouse of Ventura. It's a 64, but it'll be okay. He chops this one to short. And coming up with it is Dunston. He throws to first, and the inning is over. Two runs on 2 hits. After getting 2 quick outs, he allows a double and a home run. We go to the bottom half of inning number 5. It is White Sox 4, Cubs nothing. And Chicago, the Cubs got to get something going here in this little preseason game we got going on. Bottom half of the 5th inning. And the batter is Sammy Sosa. Another one of those guys. Sosa smacked one right back to McDowell. He lined it right back to him. McDowell made the play. It was a heck of a play. So let's see what Jack McDowell does against Sosa. Sosa capable of getting a home run of his own, of course. We all know how powerful he is. Here's the pitch from McDowell. That's going to be a 6. That's in play, 77. And that one is flowed deep to center field. It's deep, but not deep enough. Lance Johnson will get under it. And he will make the play, 1 out. And that will bring up Ray Sanchez for the Cubs. Sanchez grounded out his last time up. Jack McDowell sets and deals. It's a 4. This is in play. That's an 0-4. And Sanchez is going to belt this one into left center field. That's in the gap. That's going to go to the wall. Sanchez rounding first. He'll go to second. And yes, that is a double. Big double for Sanchez into left center. And it's brought back in by Johnson, who tosses it in. So 1 out. And now the Cubs have a man on second base as they try to get something going here. And that will bring up Rick Wilkins. Wilkins flew out his last time up. There is action in the Cubs bullpen. This is only the 5th inning, but that could be the end for Willie Banks. Well, let's see what Wilkins does here. 1 out, bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch. And that is in the wheelhouse. That's a 44. Oh, he popped it up. Popped it up to short. Graybeck will get there. Makes the catch. 2 outs. Oh, he just missed it. A 42 would at least got him in a single. Oh. 2 men down. Runner at second base. And the bullpen is ready. And I think you're going to go ahead and go for I think the Cubs will go for a pinch hitter. Why not? It's preseason. That's going to be it for Willie Banks. After grooving 2 wheelhouse pitches to Frank Thomas, you know, like I said, you deserve what you get. You deserve what you get when you do that. So they're going to bring in a pinch hitter here. And coming on to pinch hit will be Glenn Allen Hill. I got some blank cards that tell me to go ahead that I need to make a pitching change. Glenn Allen Hill will pinch hit for the Cubs. .310 average, 7 home runs against the right-handers in 1994. Sanchez on at second. in this little. And now this is the preseason game, but sometimes you just go ahead and groove it. And for those of you who are just joining late, the White Sox are up 4-0 on two big 2-run homers by the Big Hurt. So here's Glenn Allen Hill as the Cubs are trying to go ahead and get something going, but 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Here's the pitch. This is it. This is in the wheelhouse. It's an 0-9 crack, and that one is hit high. That one is hit deep. No doubt about it. That one is gone. Home run, Glenn Allen Hill. And the Wrigley faithful suddenly have something to cheer about. A pinch hit home run by Glenn Allen Hill. And it's a 2-run dinger. And it is now 4-2 as the Cubs fans finally have something to cheer about here at Wrigley. Glenn Allen Hill, pinch hit homer, and that was no doubt about it. That was an 0-9 against right-handers in the wheelhouse, and that one was just smacked. The fans here at Wrigley finally got something to cheer about. Oh, yeah, and by the way, the Wrigley faithful threw back onto the field Frank Thomas's second home run ball, too, for those of you who didn't know. Yes, they did. So Jack McDowell gives up his first home run of this game. It's now 4-2. Cubs back in it. Top of the batting order now will be Carl Rhodes. Rhodes flew out and struck out. Got a lot of fans here wearing Cubs uniforms, mostly, of course. A lot wearing White Sox. Even though this is a preseason game, this stadium is packed for the north side and the south side. Here's the pitch to Rhodes from McDowell. That's a 6. That's in play. That's a 50. And that one is a ground ball to third. Ventura will get it. He will throw to first. And the side is retired. 2 runs on 2 hits as Glenn Allen Hill smacks a big home run to get the Cubs back in it. It is White Sox 4, Cubs 2. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Got to bring a pitcher on for the Cubs. So let's see what we got here. Right, left, right. And coming on to pitch for the Cubs will be Jose Bautista. Banks can only get the loss as he leaves after pitching 5 innings. But here's Jose Bautista. 4 wins, 5 losses, 3.89 ERA. 58 games he was shown, 69 innings pitched. So Jose Bautista is one of the Cubs' workhorses in 1994. Leading off for the White Sox here in the 6th will be Darren Jackson. Jackson grounded out twice. He's 0 for 2. Here's the pitch from Bautista. And that is an 8. That's ballpark. 15. That's wheelhouse. Let's see where it's going. 76. Nope, not far enough. That's a fly ball to center field. And Rhodes will get under this one. He will make the catch. 1 out. Anytime a wheelhouse comes up in Wrigley Field, fans here get nervous, especially if it's the other team batting. But Wrigley Field was pretty neutral in 1994. Maybe a bit of a hitter's park for lefties. 1 man down, and here's Lance Johnson. Lance Johnson, he's 0 for 2. Grounded out twice to third. Here's the pitch from Jose Bautista. That's a 6. That's in play, 61. And that was a fly ball to left field. Getting under that one is May. He will get there. And we got 2 outs. Jose Bautista's fatigue rating is short, so he can pitch the 6th and the 7th. 2 men out now for Karkovice. Karkovice struck out and grounded out. Trust me, I can't wait till I start the season here. This 1994 season restart's going to be fun, I think. Lots of games scheduled. And I will always post the schedule in the Facebook Tabletop Sports, and of course Payoff Pitch. It will be they will all be streamed this weekend. So we got the Braves, we have the Astros and the Braves on Friday. We have the Blue Jays and the Yankees Saturday, the Rangers and the Royals on Sunday, and of course all simulated games with the dice you will see. Here's the pitch to Karkovice. This is a 6 that's also in play, 98, and that's just another fly ball to left. And May will get under that, and he will make the catch there, and that ends the inning. So a nice 1-2-3 inning for Jose Bautista. Still 4-2 White Sox. Jack McDowell gets back on the mound for the Sox, shaking off that home run by Glenn Allen Hill. Leading off for the guys in blue is Sean Dunston. And Dunston is 0 for 2. Flown out twice. Jack McDowell sets and deals. And that's a 5. That's a tough. That is a 65. That one is hit grounded to second base. And it's gonna be Cora who will get it. Throws him out for 1 out. So the Cubs start their inning with a ground out, and that will bring up this guy, Ryan Sandberg. Sandberg 1 for 2, a single and struck out. McDowell sets and deals. And that's a patient, that's a 13, and Sandberg's going to drive him, going to take himself a nice little walk to first base. That's a base on balls. Reaches base safely for the second straight time. And that is the second walk issued by McDowell. Sandberg on at first. That brings a tying run to the plate in Mark Grace. Grace walked and flew out. He is 0 for 1. Sandberg not really running. I'm not going to have him. He does have a steal rating of 4. It's a D. I just don't see him stealing here. Let's see here. Karkovice's arm is a 2. I don't see him stealing. Sandberg will hold it first. Not with a D. And you got a power hitter up. It doesn't make sense. Sandberg on it first. 1 out. Here's the pitch to Grace. That's a 7. That's a tough. That's a 71. That one is grounded to short. Grace's double play rating is a 6. McDowell's double rating is an 8. It's a 7. And a nice play by Graybeck, but his only play is the second base. Sandberg is out, and Grace is on it first on a fielder's choice. And that will bring up Derek May. 2 outs now. Derek May, fielder's choice and ground out. So he's 0 for 2. Grace not running anywhere. So here's the pitch to May. That's a 10. That's in play, 50, and that's a ground ball to third. Ventura's got it. He throws to second for the force, and that ends the inning. The Cubs have been getting some base runners, but besides the home run, they have actually been kept pretty quiet by McDowell. And the inning is over. No runs, no hits, a walk, but that is it. Still 4-2 White Sox. And we go to the top of the 7th. Jose Bautista will pitch another inning. And leading off for the White Sox will be Craig Graybeck. Graybeck has singled and struck out. Here's the pitch. That's a 7. That's a tough 69. And that one's grounded to second base. Sandberg, routine for him. He gets it, throws to first, 1 out. 1 man down, 7th inning. Jack McDowell is scheduled to bat, and they're going to let him hit. So the pitcher will come up, and Jack McDowell uses the number 3 hitter's card. And here's the pitch from Bautista. That's a 5. That's a tough, and that is a strikeout. 2 down. So far, Jose Bautista has pitched 2 innings of no-hit ball. 2 down now for the White Sox. Here's Zubchik. Zubchik is 0 for 3. Grounded out, flew out, struck out. Pretty much got the hat trick in a way. 2 men away. Bautista trying to make this a quick inning for the White Sox. Here's the pitch. That's a 7. That's a tough. That's an 0-7, and that is a strikeout. As Zubchik just lets that ball go by and doesn't swing. He stood there like the house by the side of the road and watched it go by. Side retired. So nothing for the White Sox there. And we're at the 7th inning stretch where I usually take a little break. So take a quick minute here. So 7th inning stretch. Bottom of the 7th coming up in a minute. It's White Sox 4, Cubs 2. Be right back, everybody. Want to welcome you back here to Wrigley Field. We go to the bottom half of the 7th inning where the White Sox have a 4-2 lead on the Cubs here in this little preseason game between these two. Jack McDowell has pitched very well in this game. He's only given up the 2 runs, one and only because of a pinch hit home run by Glenn Allen Hill. For the White Sox, all the scoring's been done by the Big Hurt. 2 big home runs, 2 2-run homers by him. So usually I said, when you groove one to the Big Hurt, you're going to get hurt. Bottom of the 7th inning for the Cubs. And leading off for Chicago, the ones that are wearing the blue, the ones that are wearing the pinstripes, is Sammy Sosa. Sosa is 0 for 2, lined out back to the pitcher and flew out to center. Jack McDowell knows he's got to be careful to him too. Here's the pitch. That's a 5. That's a tough 57, and Sosa will go down on strikes. Swung and missed at that one, and we got a quick out. And that will bring up Ray Sanchez. Sanchez doubled his last time up and scored on the Glenn Allen Hill homer. Here's the pitch to Sanchez. That is a 3. That's defense. 44. Let's see. And that can be an error check on the shortstop to Graybeck. His error rating is a 4. It's a 44. He makes a diving stop. He makes the play, gets up, bobbles a little bit, throws quickly to first, and gets him. Craig Graybeck makes a Sports Center throw, or I should say Sports Center play and throw, and gets Sanchez out at first for the second out. Two outs, and that will bring up Rick Wilkins. What a play by Graybeck. Wilkins is popped out and flew out. If he gets on base, we'll see a pinch hitter for Batista. If not, he can pitch a third inning. If they want him to, we'll see. Here's the pitch to Wilkins. And that is a 6. That's in play, 21. Wilkins is going to belt that one down the line a little bit into left field. That is a count it off is Zupchik. Before it gets to the corner, he throws in quick. Wilkins will hold it first, and the Cubs have a 2-out single. A nice base hit for Wilkins, and we'll see a pinch hitter. Because that will be all for Batista. And coming on to pinch hit will be Mark Parent. Mark Parent bat .297 and a homer against right-handers in 1994. Not many plate appearances, but he will bat here. So Rick Wilkins on it first. Mark Parent the batter. Glenn Allen Hill hit a pinch hit home run his last time up. I'm sure Parent would like to do the same thing. 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. White Sox 4, Cubs 2. Tying run at the plate. Here's the pitch. It's a 7. It's a tough. It's a 44. And Parent swing and a miss. And he's strike out. And the side is retired. Got a little interesting there, but they couldn't cash in. No runs on 1 hit. 7 in the books. Still, White Sox 4, Cubs 2. Top of the 8th coming up. Let's see. Switch right, left. Coming on to pitch for the Chicago Cubs will be left-hander Randy Myers. He will come on and pitch now. 1 win, 5 losses, 3.79 ERA. Myers is the new pitcher. And leading off for the White Sox will be Joey Cora. Cora's had a great night, 2 for 3 with 2 doubles. And I'm sure he'd like to go ahead and do it again. So here's the pitch to Cora. That's a 6. That's a tough 71. That one is grounded to second. That's going to be a nice play by Sandberg. He's got it. He throws to first. 1 out. And that will bring up that guy. Frank Thomas. 3 for 3. 2 home runs and a double. You throw a wheelhouse pitch to Thomas, you might as well just not even look where the ball went, because you know it's not coming back. Although here in this case at Wrigley Field, 2 Frank Thomas balls did come back, thrown back by the Wrigley faithful. Here's the pitch to Thomas from Myers. And that is a 8. That's a tough 0-4, and that is a strikeout. And Randy Myers pumps his fist a little bit as they finally get Frank Thomas out. That's a K. 2 down, and it will bring up Ventura. Ventura had not a bad day. He's walked, singled, and grounded out. So he's 1 for 2. Lefty on lefty. He bats .270 with 4 homers against left-handed pitching. Here's the pitch from Myers. That's ballpark. 0-4. That's wheelhouse. Let's see. 39. And that's going to be a base hit for Robin Ventura. That one he hits to right field. Sosa will get that. He'll throw that back in. And Ventura will hold it first. Ventura has his second hit of the game. Well hit, as sometimes Wrigley Field can be a little treacherous. Here's Darren Jackson. Jackson is 0 for 3. Ventura on it first. Good steal rating. He's got a 3 there. I think we're going to send him. We're going to send Robin Ventura for a steal. He's got the jump. Let's see what we got here. As we check the chart, Robin Ventura is a B, and Wilkins' arm is a 3. So it's a B3. It's a very good chance. So here we go. Ventura on his way. It's a very good. Here's the throw, and he is safe. Ventura only had 3 stolen bases in 1994, but he'll still here, and he gets there. Stolen base for Ventura puts an insurance run at scoring position. With Jackson still at the plate. 1 out. And now we'll do it. Now Myers will do it again to Jackson. Here's the pitch. That's a 6. That's a tough. It's a 14. And that is a strikeout. As Darren Jackson's caught looking at a beautiful slider, doesn't swing the bat, and the slider went right where it needed to be. 2 outs. Second strikeout from Myers. And the batter is Lance Johnson. Johnson is 0 for 3. Grounded out twice and flew out. Here's the pitch. Ventura on its second. That's a 6. That's a tough 26. And Johnson gets himself a base hit. Lefty on lefty. He's got himself a single. It's a hard grounder into left field. The runner on second, Ventura, coming around third. He will score, and the White Sox now make it 5-2. So the stolen base hurts the Cubs as he scores from second easily on a base hit by Lance Johnson. 5-2 White Sox. And again, the Cubs faithful here at Wrigley Field just in a little bit of disappointment. Randy Myers upset with himself. That was actually a good pitch. Just Johnson went ahead and fought it off. Here is Ron Karkovice. Karkovice is 0 for 3. And now it's a 5-2 game. Big insurance run there. And here's the pitch. That's a 9. That's a tough. That is a 73. And Karkovice will swing and a miss, and he struck him out. And the side is retired. So Randy Myers actually strikes out the side, but a run does come in on 1 run and 2 hits. Bottom of the 8th coming up. It's White Sox 5, Cubs 2. Bottom half of the 8th inning, Jack McDowell will come out for the White Sox. He is now in his fatigue inning, but he's only given up 2 runs. So he's still strong. Leading off for the Cubs will be Carl Rhodes. Rhodes is 0 for 3. Here's the pitch to Rhodes. And that is an 11. That's a ballpark. That's an 81. That's going to be in play. A 31 on Rhodes. And Rhodes is going to get himself a pop-up. He pops it up behind the plate. Calling for it is Karkovice. He will make the catch. 1 out. Oh, that one hurt. It was actually looked pretty good to me, but he popped it up. 1 down now. The batter will be Dunston. Dunston is 0 for 3 as well. He's grounded out, flown out twice. McDowell has had his way today. Here's the pitch to Dunston. That's an 11. That's also in the ballpark. 28. That's wheelhouse. 60, 62, and that one is grounded to second base. Coming over for it is Cora. He's got it. Throws to first. 2 outs. The ballpark has been friendly to the White Sox, but not their own Cubs. 2 down. And that will bring up Sandberg. Jack McDowell is still very strong. Sandberg now up, and Sandberg is 1 for 2. Struck out, got a base hit, and walked. So here's the pitch from McDowell. That's a 5. That's a tough 17, and that is a strikeout. As Sandberg will go down on strikes, and a 1-2-3 inning for McDowell. One of my faster moving games, actually, as 8 are in the books. It is White Sox 5, Cubs 2. As we go to the top of the 9th inning. Craig Graybeck will lead it off for the White Sox. Randy Myers still on the mound for the Cubs in this little exhibition game. Graybeck is 1 for 3. He did single in the first inning. Here's the pitch from Myers. That's a 4. That's defense. Let's see. That ball was hit to third base. So that's hit to Sanchez again. He's getting a lot of choices. It's a 67. His error rating is a 3, and he will make the play. He's got it. And what a play by him. He throws to first to get Graybeck out. 1 out. Sanchez has actually he's been called upon to make a lot of range plays and error plays. He did, of course, make an error earlier in the game as he made it in the 3rd. But there's 1 out here. On a ground out to 3rd, Jack McDowell is scheduled to bat, and they're going to let him, and they're going to pinch hit for him. So Jack McDowell actually goes 8 innings and pitches beautifully. He can only get the win. So that's it for McDowell as he goes bye-bye. And we'll see a pinch hitter for the White Sox against Myers. Myers is a lefty. And they're going to bring up, well, like I said, I know they're skewed sometimes, but you're going to bring in the guy that actually does the job. And the Cubs are going to bring in Warren Newson. Now, I understand the White Sox are bringing Warren Newson. I understand he's skewed. I get that. Yeah. 1 minute here. So Warren Newson will bat. He only had 5 at-bats against left-handed pitch. Tenacious Strat, welcome. I'm sorry you came a little late, but you're here to see at least the end of the game. Warren Newson batted .400 with no home runs against left-handed pitching. Of course, he only had 5 at-bats in 1994. But why am I using him? It's preseason. The game don't matter. The game doesn't count. So Randy Myers will pitch to Newson. Let's see what he can do against one of these skewed cards. It's a 6. It's a tough. It's an 0-7, and Newson goes down on strikes. And that's the 2nd out. So Randy Myers goes ahead and gets him out of there. On a strikeout there. And that will bring up Bob Zubchik. Zubchik is 0 for 4. Struck out twice, grounded out, and flown out. Randy Myers trying to keep it a 5-2 game for the White Sox. Here's the pitch to Zubchik. And that's a ballpark. That's 28. That's in the wheelhouse. That's a 76, and that one's at a fly ball to center field. Rhodes will get under this one. He will make the catch, and the inning is over. So nothing across for the White Sox. It remains a 5-2 game as we'll go to the bottom half of the 9th inning. For those of you who joined us late, it's been all the big hurt. Frank Thomas has blasted 2 home runs to straightaway center field. Appichatter, how you doing there, Appichatter? He blasted 2 2-run homers to center field, and of course the Wrigley faithful threw it right back in. Both balls there. But Frank Thomas, 2 home runs in this game, both thrown in the wheelhouse by Willie Banks, who was the Cubs pitcher at the time. And I'm sorry, I said it before, I'll say it again. You get what you deserve when you throw a ball into Frank Thomas's wheelhouse. The big hurt is going to hurt you, and he did twice. We will see a new pitcher for the White Sox to close the game out. And it's a 3. It's not really a safe. I guess it'd be a safe situation. Why not? They'll bring in Roberto Hernandez. Roberto Hernandez will come in and try to get the game over with for the White Sox. 4 wins, 4 losses, 4.91 ERA. Bottom of the 9th inning, White Sox 5, Cubs 2. Leading off for the Cubs will be Derek May. I'm sorry, not Derek May, Mark Grace. My bad, had the wrong card in there. Mark Grace will lead it off. He has walked and fielder's choice and flown out. So Grace, the batter for the Cubs, they're going to try to do something here in the bottom of the 9th inning, down 5-2. Roberto Hernandez now on the mound for the Sox. Fans here at Wrigley hoping for something. They haven't left yet. Even though it's preseason, this stadium is still packed. For a Cubs-White Sox game, of course. Here's the pitch to Grace. And it is a 7. That's a tough. It's a 34. And Grace belts this one into left center field. That's going to fall in for a base hit. He fights it off and gets a single. And the Cubs start with a man on base. The Cubs have had their share of hits tonight, just not able to get them across. The only way they scored the 2 runs was a pinch hit homer by Glenn Allen Hill. So Mark Grace holds it first. He, of course, is not stealing anything. Now we'll see Derek May bat. Grace on it first. Derek May at the plate. Roberto Hernandez trying to close the game out. Cubs trying to see what they can do here in this little exhibition matchup in front of their fans. Here's the pitch to May. And it's a 10. It's a patient. It's a 40. And that's a base hit by Derek May. And that's more than just a base hit. That's a double. It's a drive down the line to left field. The runners will advance 2 bases. Grace will hold at third. He will not try anything. Derek May gets a double. And with nobody out in the bottom of the 9th inning, the Cubs have runners at second and third and nobody out. And the fans here just woke up. And now Roberto Hernandez, who come in for the bullpen, automatically finds himself with runners on base, nobody out, and the batter is Sammy Sosa. Sosa, however, has been quiet. He is 0 for 3, lined out, flew out, and struck out. The question is, do you intentionally walk him and put the winning run on base? Or do you pitch to Sammy Sosa and take your chances? This was 1994. Sosa he had 25 home runs total against right-handers, 16 homers, batted .288. With nobody out, I think you walk him, and that's exactly what the White Sox are going to do. They're going to put Sammy Sosa on base to load the bases, and they'd rather pitch to Ray Sanchez. Bases loaded, and the infield is back. They're going to play for the double play. The runners at second and third don't mean anything. 2 outs. Race, nobody out. Sanchez at the plate, bases juiced. Roberto Hernandez trying to get the game in, trying to close it. Of course, when I play, it's always like this. They walked Sosa. And now here's Sanchez. Sanchez, however, he did double today. He's 1 for 3. Doubled and grounded out twice. Infield back. Here's the pitch from Hernandez. It's a 4. It's defense. 77. It's an error check. It's hit right to second. It's hit to Cora. And I need to check something real quick. On an infield in. It's hit to Cora. It's a 77. His rating is a 3. It's an error check. His rating is a 3. He will make the play. So it isn't out. It's a ground ball DP double play A. Is what that is. So the runner out. So the infield was in on that play. Ground ball, double play A. Runner at first, forced out at second base. But what if the infield is in? No, I'm sorry. The infield was back, wasn't it? That's right. I played the infield back. My bad. Ground ball, double play A. The run field was back. I'm sorry. It was back. You're right. You're right. But it's a double play A, so he does not get the double play. Runner at first, forced out at second base because his rating, Cora's rating is a D. So Mark Grace will score. May goes to third. Sosa's out. Sanchez is on first, but it is now 5-3. Correct. Sometimes I outsmart myself when I'm doing this. Sorry, guys. Still learning. So Sosa's out. So Sosa is out. Now 1 out. But now it's 5-3 with May on at third and Sanchez on at first and 1 out. And the batter is Rick Wilkins. Wilkins singled his last time up. Infield is still playing back. 1 out, though. Roberto Hernandez trying to get it done. Why? You did the right thing. Hey, every time I play a game, it's always crazy. I never have easy games. They always wind up playing like this. Derek May at third, Sanchez at first, Wilkins the plate, pitch from Hernandez. It's a 7, it's a tough, it's a 25, and that is a strikeout. 2 down, huge strikeout by Hernandez. Fans here put a little bit of an awe. Go, oh. The pitcher was due to bat, but of course the Cubs will go to a pinch hitter, as that is all for Randy Myers. You got a right-hander up there. They'll bring in their best player to do it, and it's going to be Steve Buechele. Yep, I love my Dolphins, even though they don't love me. Love my Dolphins. 2 outs. Derek May at third, Sanchez at first. Steve Buechele will come on and pinch hit. Batted .244 with 12 homers against right-handers in 1994. Roberto Hernandez gets the sign. White Sox trying to close the deal in this exhibition game as they get ready for the restart the 1994 season on Friday. I will have, for those of you who come late, I have the Astros and Braves on Friday, the Blue Jays and Yankees on Saturday, and the Rangers and Royals on Sunday. All games will be streamed. Roberto Hernandez gets the sign from Karkovice. Here's the windup. Here's the pitch. It's a 7. It's a tough. It's a 40. And Buechele, swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's the ball game. Steve Buechele swings and misses, strike 3. Roberto Hernandez does pick up the save. as the Chicago White Sox beat the Chicago Cubs 5-3 here at Wrigley Field in a nice little exhibition game. 1 run, 2 hits was the final total for the inning. And for those of you who want to wait, I'll be right back with a quick recap. I want to thank everybody who joined me today. I know a lot of people probably would have also, a lot of people would have also joined me today. Some people really didn't know I was banging the stream. I'll be honest with you, I wasn't intending to stream this game until I said, you know what, I'm just going to stream it so I can get it posted faster. So anyway, for the Chicago White Sox, they had 5 runs on 2, 3, 6, 8, 10 hits, and no errors. For the Cubs, they had 3 runs on 1, 3, 4, 6 hits, and 1 error. Jack McDowell went 8 innings. He gets the win. Willie Banks picks up a loss. Hernandez gets the save. The player of the game, of course, has got to be Frank Thomas. Frank Thomas went ahead, blasted 2 home runs to center field. He was responsible for 4 of the 5 White Sox runs, and he absolutely did the job for the White Sox in this game. I will have one more preseason game. I'll have one tomorrow. I've done a game from the East. I've done a game from the Central, so I will do one from the West. I'm thinking tomorrow it will be the Dodgers and the Angels, or the A's and the Giants. I'll figure which one I want there. Another interleague matchup. And then Friday, I will restart the season with the Houston Astros playing the Atlanta Braves, scheduled on for August 12th, 1994. So for those of you, I hope you'll join me for that. Yes, I hear you. I know you're absolutely right. It was a great rivalry in the 90s with Jim Kelly versus Dan Marino. I'm a Dolphins fan. I'm a glutton for punishment. I know. I hated my draft this year. I really did. But hopefully we have a football season to watch, really. But baseball season is going to get underway in some way. So I'm looking forward to getting that going. Anyway, for those of you who joined me, thank you very much for watching, and hope to see you tomorrow. I will probably stream that game as well. So until then, everybody, please stay healthy, stay safe, and have a good night. Once again, final score: Chicago White Sox 5, Chicago Cubs 3. Have a good night, everybody.